Welcome back to LA's Listening Lounge, where you'll find stories you can hear and words you can feel. Today's story is called He Wasn't Broke, He Was Testing Her Heart. Simone Carter had a theory about dating. She believed men talk too much, especially the ones she called victims of Germain Dupree syndrome, men who got one beautiful, successful woman to give them a chance and suddenly couldn't keep her name out of their mouths. That's why Simone preferred to date privately until she was ready. No social media announcements, no relationship status updates, no public performances, just two people getting to know each other with intention. But when she meets a quiet man named Marcus, everything she thought she knew about love is challenged. Because sometimes the person who looks like they have the least to offer may be hiding the biggest surprise of all. Grab your favorite drink, settle in, and let's get into today's story. Chapter 1. Men Talk Too Much. Simone Elise Carter was beautiful, successful, and very clear about one thing. Dating was supposed to be intentional, not an announcement. She was 39, owned 3 upscale wellness studios, had a downtown condo, a walk-in closet that looked like a boutique, and the kind of confidence that made people turn their heads before she ever said a word. But when it came to men, Simone had rules. Her favorite saying was, "Men talk too much to date them privately, especially if they suffer from Germain Dupree syndrome. They get one beautiful and successful woman to give them a chance, and next thing you know, they can no longer be single." Her friends laughed every time she said it, but Simone was serious. She did not mind dating publicly, but only on her terms, when she was ready, when the man had proven he was not using her beauty, money, or name to make himself look important. Simone wanted love. She wanted laughter. She wanted dinner dates, prayer, friendship, consistency, and a man who knew how to lead without trying to control her. But what kept finding her was the opposite. Men who wanted pictures before commitment. Men who bragged too soon. Men who wanted access to her lifestyle but not responsibility for her heart. So Simone stayed selective. She was not bitter. She was careful. And there was a difference. Chapter 2. Another Wrong One. 1. Friday evening, Simone agreed to meet a man named Preston for dinner. Preston was handsome, polished, and dressed like he had walked straight out of a magazine. He smelled expensive. He smiled like he practiced it in the mirror. At first, Simone thought maybe he had potential. Then he started talking. He talked about his car, his watch, his followers, his exes. Then before dessert arrived, he asked, "So when can we post something together?" Simone blinked. "We just met," she said. "I know, but people like seeing power couples." Simone slowly placed her fork down. "Preston, we are not a power couple. We are 2 people eating salmon." He laughed like she was joking. She was not. By the next morning, Preston had posted a picture of 2 wine glasses with the caption, "Dinner with someone special. She knows who she is." Simone blocked him before her coffee finished brewing. That afternoon, her best friends Tasha and Melanie sat in her living room laughing until they cried. "Girl," Tasha said, "you attract men who want a press release." Simone shook her head. "Exactly why I say men talk too much." Melanie smiled. "Maybe the right man will know how to move quietly." Simone leaned back against the sofa. "That would be refreshing." Chapter 3. The Man in the Plain Shirt. 2 weeks later, Simone attended a community business mixer. She did not want to go, but one of her wellness clients had insisted. Simone wore a cream pantsuit, gold hoops, and nude heels. She looked like success wrapped in softness. Across the room stood a man she probably would not have noticed at first. He was not the best dressed. His shirt was plain. His shoes were clean but simple. He had a quiet smile and a calm presence. While other men stared at Simone like she was a prize, this man simply nodded with respect. Later, when Simone stood near the refreshment table, he approached. "I'm Marcus," he said. "Simone." "I know." She raised an eyebrow. He smiled gently. "Not in a strange way. You own Carter Wellness Studios. My sister goes there. She says your classes helped her after her divorce." Simone softened. "That means a lot." Marcus did not brag. He did not ask for her number right away. He did not mention social media. He asked about her work, her purpose, and what peace looked like to her. That intrigued her. When he finally asked if he could call her sometime, Simone studied him. "Call me," she said. "Not text all day. Call." Marcus smiled. "I can do that." And he did. Chapter 4. Different Marcus was different. He called when he said he would. He listened more than he talked. He remembered small details, like how Simone liked peppermint tea at night and preferred sunflowers over roses because they felt happier. He never asked to come to her house, never asked for money, never pushed for pictures, never hinted at needing to be seen. Their first date was simple. A walk through a botanical garden followed by tacos from a food truck. Tasha was horrified. A food truck? Simone laughed. The tacos were good, Melanie asked. Was he cheap or thoughtful? Simone paused. Thoughtful. Marcus had packed bottled water, napkins, and a small container of sliced mango because Simone had mentioned loving it during one of their calls. That touched her more than any expensive dinner ever had. One evening, while they sat on a park bench watching children chase bubbles, Marcus said, I need to be honest. I don't have a lot of money. Simone looked at him. I'm not asking you for money. I know, he said, but I want you to know what I can offer. I can love you, cherish you, protect you, pray with you, make sure you have everything you need and a few of the things you want. Simone's heart went quiet. For once, a man was not selling an image, he was offering character. Chapter 5, Love Without Noise. Months passed, and Marcus never changed. He showed up when her tire pressure light came on. He sat quietly beside her after a stressful board meeting. He brought soup when she caught a cold. He sent scriptures in the morning, not selfies. Simone realized she was becoming softer with him. She laughed more, rested more, trusted more. Still, she kept their relationship private, not hidden, private. Her friends knew, her mother knew, but social media did not. Marcus never complained. One night, Simone asked, Does it bother you that I don't post us? Marcus shook his head. No, I know who I am to you. I don't need strangers clapping for it. That answer almost made her cry. She had spent so much time dealing with men who wanted the world to validate them that she did not know what to do with a man who only wanted her heart. That night, Simone prayed, Lord, if this is real, show me. If it's not, protect me. But deep inside, she already knew. Marcus felt like peace. Chapter 6. The Proposal. On Simone's 40th birthday, Marcus planned a small dinner with her family and closest friends. Nothing flashy, just candlelight, good food, and people who loved her. After dinner, Marcus stood and reached for her hand. Simone's eyes widened. Marcus? He smiled. Simone Elise Carter, I may not be the richest man in the room. I may not have the fanciest things, but I know how to love one woman. I know how to honor one woman. And if you let me, I will spend the rest of my life making sure you never question whether you are chosen. Tears filled her eyes. He got down on one knee. I promise to love you, cherish you, protect you, and make sure you have everything you need and a few of the things you want. Will you marry me? The room went silent. Simone looked at the man kneeling before her. Plain suit, gentle eyes, steady hands. Yes, she whispered, then louder. Yes. Everyone cheered. Everyone except a few people who looked concerned because love was sweet, but Simone had more, a lot more. Chapter 7. The Prenup Question. Wedding planning began immediately. Simone wanted elegance, candlelight, champagne satin, white orchids, a live band, a ballroom reception with gold accents, and a 5-tier cake. Marcus listened to every detail. Plan the wedding of your dreams, he told her. Simone smiled. Marcus, that sounds expensive. I'll take out a loan if I need to. She frowned. I don't want you going into debt for one day. It's not just one day to me. It's the day I become your husband. A week later, Marcus asked a question that made her pause. Do you want me to sign a prenup? Simone looked at him across the kitchen table. No. Are you sure? Yes. Simone, you have businesses, property, investments. I don't want anybody thinking I'm marrying you for what you have. She reached for his hand. I know why you're marrying me. But her friends and family were not so calm. Tasha nearly dropped her phone. No prenup? Simone, have you lost your blessed mind? Her mother said, Baby, love is love, but paperwork is paperwork. Melanie was gentler. We like Marcus, we do, but you have built too much to be careless. Simone listened, then she said, I have dated men with money who had no integrity. Marcus has integrity. I'm not marrying his bank account, I'm marrying his character. They still thought she was crazy, but Simone had peace. Chapter 8. The Wedding of Her Dreams. The wedding was everything Simone had imagined and more. She wore a fitted ivory gown with pearl details and a cathedral veil that floated behind her like a blessing. Marcus stood at the altar in a black tuxedo, looking more handsome than anyone expected. When Simone walked toward him, his eyes filled with tears. Not pride, not performance, love. The ceremony was tender. Their vows made people reach for tissues. Marcus promised to cover her in prayer, protect her peace, and never make her regret trusting him. Simone promised to honor him, grow with him, and love him without fear. At the reception, the ballroom glowed with candles and gold light. The band played old-school love songs. Guests danced, laughed, and whispered about how beautiful everything was. Tasha leaned toward Melanie. I still hope she knows what she's doing. Melanie watched Marcus gently remove Simone's heels and replace them with soft slippers under the table. I think she does. During dinner, Marcus leaned close to Simone. I have your wedding gift outside. She smiled. Outside? Yes, come with me. Chapter 9. The Bentley outside, a black satin cover sat over a large vehicle. Simone looked confused. Marcus, what is this? He handed her a small box. Inside was a key. Her hand flew to her mouth. Marcus pulled the cover away. There it was, the Bentley truck Simone had dreamed of for years. Pearl white, cream interior, gold bow across the hood. For a moment she could not speak. Marcus, she whispered. How? Family and friends gathered behind them, stunned. Tasha's mouth fell open. Simone turned to Marcus. You said you didn't have a lot of money. Marcus took both of her hands. I said Marcus didn't. She frowned. What does that mean? He took a breath. My birth name is Marcus Bell, but professionally I use M. Alexander Bellamy. Simone's eyes widened. She knew that name. Everyone in business knew that name. M. Alexander Bellamy was a multimillionaire investor, silent partner, and owner of several companies across 3 states. Marcus continued, I needed to know if you loved me for me, not the money, not the name, not the access. Simone stepped back, overwhelmed. So all this time I was still me, he said. The man who brought you mango slices, the man who fixed your tire, the man who prayed for you. Her eyes filled with tears. And because you didn't want to date publicly, I was able to keep my wealth private. You protected us without even knowing it. Chapter 10. The Envelope. Then Marcus handed Simone an envelope. What is this? She asked. Open it. Inside were legal documents. Simone scanned the first page, then looked up in shock. Marcus, you are now part owner in all my businesses. The crowd gasped. Tasha grabbed Melanie's arm. Marcus smiled. I didn't need your money, Simone. I needed your heart. And now that I have it, I want us to build together. Simone shook her head, tears falling. I don't understand. Yes, you do, he said softly. You chose me when you thought all I had was love, loyalty, and a loan application. She laughed through her tears. He continued, You trusted my character. That means more to me than anything. Simone looked around at her family, her friends, the Bentley, the envelope, and the man who had quietly loved her without needing applause. Then she stepped into his arms. I would have married you without any of this. I know, Marcus said. That's why you deserve all of it. The guests erupted in cheers, and Tasha, who had been the loudest about the prenup, wiped her eyes and said, Well, Lord, I stand corrected. Epilogue. Love built quietly. Years later, Simone and Marcus built a life fuller than either of them imagined. They had 2 beautiful children, a son named Miles and a daughter named Selah. Together, they opened more wellness studios, invested in community housing, launched scholarships for young entrepreneurs, and created a marriage foundation that taught couples about love, money, purpose, and trust. Simone still believed men talked too much when it came to dating, but Marcus had taught her something deeper. The right man did not need to announce himself. He would show up. He would be consistent. He would protect what was sacred. And when the time was right, he would reveal that what looked simple on the outside had been valuable all along. One evening, as Simone stood in the doorway of their home watching Marcus play with their children, she smiled. He looked up and caught her staring. What? He asked. She shook her head. Nothing. I was just thinking. About what? She laughed softly. That I almost missed you because you weren't flashy. Marcus grinned. But you didn't. No, she said. I didn't. He walked over and kissed her forehead. And I thank God every day that you saw me before you saw everything connected to me. Simone leaned into him. She had once thought love needed to be guarded, tested, and protected from public noise. Now she understood. Real love did not need to be loud. It needed to be honest. And sometimes the man who looked like he had the least to offer was the one God sent with more than she ever dreamed. The end. And that's the end of today's story. What would you have done if you were Simone? Would you have trusted Marcus without a prenup? Would you have believed him when he said he didn't have much money? And how would you have reacted if your new husband revealed he was actually a multi-millionaire on your wedding day? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this story, please like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a new upload from LA's Listening Lounge. And if you're looking for more stories filled with love, lessons, surprises, and unforgettable endings, be sure to check out the other videos on the channel. Until next time, remember, sometimes the loudest people have the least to offer, and sometimes the quietest person in the room is carrying the greatest blessing. Thank you for listening to LA's Listening Lounge, where you'll always find stories you can hear and words you can feel.